Okay, you all, we are still talking about hairstyling. Over the past week, we've been investigating in this chapter some things that we can actually understand the science on how to form a finger wave, a pin curl, a roller set, understanding what hot rollers do, what our combs do when we utilize our clips, considering updos. We've been investigating on that level. Also in demonstration when it comes to preparing for a wet set, where we have been discussing out on the clinic floor some techniques on how to use our blow dryer that is the most effective. We also talked about some things that pertain to flat ironing. And when it comes to flat ironing, that we can actually apply to our everyday so we can execute styles without a client saying, well, can you, or well, I was thinking, they hesitant, but we want them to feel secure and confident in knowing that they can open up their mouth to say, this is what I always desired. And when we get clients to say, this is what I always wanted, you all are on a whole nother different level of growth, so in executing styles. So once you get the technique and you're applying it, like I say, practice makes permanent, and perfect practice makes perfect. That means that you're practicing the steps, the procedures, one by one, and you following through with it until it becomes your norm. And when it becomes your norm, that means that you take ownership of it, and you'll be able to do and execute any style that comes your way. So when we're looking at hairstyling, we are also taking a look at facial, the form, when you're considering some of their facial features. We always want to make sure that we mask the most flaws in a face. So when we're masking those, maybe a person has their eye is asymmetrical. Their eyes are asymmetrical, so to bring balance. And if I want to bring balance to an eye that's asymmetrical, that means that I'll give them a very long sassy bang or a side part where it hangs over one eye. When we're talking about some of the different things with if they don't like they wide jawbones, and if a person don't like they wide jawbones, then what will I do? I would give that person a face frame. Most likely her hair will come towards her face and not away from her face. That makes sense? So when we're admiring our clients when they come into the salon, and also some of the clients that I call them Hollywood clients. They are those that love to take selfies, and they taking pictures, and they throw that right. Whatever their best feature is, they always showing it. And in the process of them showing that feature, then okay, I know how when they dip their head forward and throw it back, then where they like they heavy bang at. Whether if it's on the left or the right side. Or even when they come in, they cross their legs and they sit up and they throw their shoulders forward, then that, hey, I want to be able to show off my shoulders. So you ain't finna have their hair all down over their shoulders. You get what I'm saying? Because they want that to show. So these play a tremendous role when we're considering hairstyling. We've been talking about some of the learning objectives in this here lesson. We've been executing finger waves, pin curls, roller sets, and hair wrapping. We went in and did a press out, and that was a flat iron on our mannequins. We're going to go back in today, and we're going to silk wrap it. So you're going to have to take and wrap that hair up and place saran wrap and put it up on the hair dryer so you can understand the steps and knowing how to perform that service. When we're looking at some of performing various blow drying styles, techniques, we did on a clinic floor wrap drying, and we also did leafing on yesterday. So those were the two techniques that we were able to execute as well. With demonstrating the proper use of our thermal irons, that's what we're getting ready to come into on tomorrow. We finna start preparing ourselves for our mock exam that is going to be over hair cutting and thermal styling. So I want you all to keep that in mind. We getting ready to start going through hair cutting and thermal styling all over again. You are going to know the positions on how to set up. We're going to investigate what all we need for that service alone when it consider your general supplies as well, that which can be your universal supplies. Then you have your first client that you're going to prepare for your state board exam, which is going to be hair cutting and it's going to be thermal styling. Let me reverse those. Thermal styling and hair cutting. That is 2 out of the 10 core domains that is going to be required for you to pass for your practical examination. So keep that in mind. We are also going to, we did flat iron, so we demonstrated flat iron and various iron manipulations, which will be explained as a demonstration as well. Performing the 4 basic type of curl patterns when we're dealing in the end results. Hair pressing. Hair pressing is a great technique to use, but because flat iron, and I was trying to think of the gentleman's name that came out with the flat iron. He lives here in St. Louis, Missouri. He actually has a salon right here on Hall's Ferry. His name is just not coming before me, but he was the one that created the flat iron. Black man. We in Black history. He was a black man. Yes.
Is he still alive?
Yes, he is still alive today. Yep. Yep. And he's here in St. Louis, Missouri. And his salon is on Hall's Ferry, no further than in a 3-mile radius. So yes, he is very close. And no one really knew that. Did y'all know that?
No.
Black man created the flat iron? Yep. Yes, ma'am. All right, so when we're looking at hairstyling, we talked a lot about the different things when it pertains to consultation. We're going to start doing a lot of role playing, and in that role play, we're going to be investigating, and you all will know how to communicate. Soft skills is the key thing that we want to make sure that we're focusing on when it deals with hairstyling, because you got to communicate effectively, even when you're dealing with product knowledge, making sure that you are up on what type of product. So when you continue education, you're going to be going to hair shows, different places to continue your education. State Beauty Supply, Cosmo. You have all of these professional stores, and they hold classes, and with you continuing education, you'll gain that product knowledge. So when you're doing a consultation with your client, and with you asking them questions, well, sometimes our clients on medication, and you got to know how do their product, their chemical product work or respond to a person that is on this type of medication. So when you go to take classes on product, you're taking all your cards, or you make sure you just do a tally mark on who has what issues and how that product worked for a client that is on this type of medication or have this issue. Does that make sense, you all? Okay, so when we're looking at Consultation plays a dramatic role. Like with me, I take thyroid medication. And because I take thyroid medication, hair color is not my best friend unless I add a bond builder in with it. Make sense? Bond builders are those the thing that actually help to create a cast. I like if your arm was broke, it put a cast on so it'll heal. So it seals the hair from breaking, from shedding, not shedding, but more so breakage, drying out, having minor threats. That's for more beads, but maybe not that. But maybe the trichorexic nodosa. So when we talk about dry, brittle hair, then that's what I would need for my hair, okay? To restore it, add moisture in. Okay, so what we left off at was with backcombing techniques. When we're considering backcombing techniques, which is also another name for, jot this down, another name also known as, when you see that, that's an indication that I need to make sure I highlight in my book. So anytime you all see also known as, that means that, there go the bell. Let me go in and highlight. So it's teasing, rattling, matting, and French lacing. That's when we're dealing with the hair. When we did French rolls, we did some matting. You all were back combing that hair. You were French lacing it. You were rattling it. You were creating some cushion so it can give the hair height or give it volume or make it big, sexy hair. So when we're dealing with involving, which involves a small comb sectioning the hair from the ends towards the scalp, causing short hair to mat at the scalp that forms a cushion or a base. So it gives steps, and you all can look at them within your book and to discover those steps on how to create it. We've been discussing it, and also preparing ourselves for when and what place when we should use it. The backcombing techniques. So if you have somebody that have limp hair, is also great dynamic way. When this be the case, if you're working with someone that has like straight hair, but their straight hair is very limp, and sometimes they can have fine hair or wavy. Their wave pattern could be wavy. The type, it could be type 1, type 2, type 3, but it has a wave to it, but it lays flat to the head. A lot of the ladies that have, hold on, it's gonna come to my mind. A lot of thinning in the top of their hair. Are going through early stages of thinning, which is alopecia. Give her snaps or some clappies. Awesome. But when we're looking at clients that have that and you want to create volume only at the base, but they still want straight hair, you could actually take and use a root lifter. You could put mousse with it, like some foam wrap. And if you have Velcro rollers, I got 1, 2, 3 people with their heads down. Hold your heads up. Let me show y'all how this works. When you sit up real straight, you allow oxygen to flow. Oxygen flows through from your body. So sitting up real square, sometimes you get a little frustrated because of the information that is taught. Then we want to make sure that we just kind of sit up real nice and straight. Allow the oxygen to flow through your brains. What we have to learn to get accustomed to, and I know sometimes when we're looking at lecturing, it could be very boring. And when it comes to lecturing, I just want to lay down and go to sleep and get comfortable and just start drifting off in another place. But when we're considering having our bodies and sitting up, man, some of you all need to go and get some water. Go get some water. And I know it's early in the morning, but go and get you some water. Yes. Yeah, you could go and check if that'll help to keep you up. But we cannot lay our heads down in class. Okay? All right. So when we're dealing with clients who have certain type of service, and this is a technique that you all could utilize, and they want to just see volume at their scalp area, you could go in and just take subsection, place the roller there, and it could be a Velcro roller. All you're doing is just laying it at the scalp and just lay the hair over it. Impart another subsection, put a roller at the scalp area, and lay that hair over it. And what it does, it helps to pull the hair away from the scalp, which you all will be able to practice. And I want to start bringing that in. I think I have a lot of rollers, some of those Velcro rollers at home, and I'm going to bring them in so you all could get more hands-on with that. And it's another technique that you could utilize that can make your work that much more effective. You never know where your feet's going to land. And a lot of times where your feet land, people going to see what you know. And then that's what helps to keep you in the door. Okay? So you want to gain much technique that you possibly can. Put it on a shelf. Make sure you lock it up. Take a picture of it. I did this. Oh, what if I try that? And see what they, because sometimes we don't use it and then we lose it. But if we keep it in a folder somewhere, we could go back and get it. Okay? So that's going to help you. So back combing techniques with teasing, creating volume, creating cushion, those are going to be some things that you want to investigate. And so when we're looking at some of the back combing, which is going to be a practical as a activity, back combing that hair, teasing that hair. We are going to be out on the clinic floor working with clients on today, which is going to be awesome. But if you do not have a client, you will be silk wrapping your mannequin. After you silk wrap, then we're going to be going into thermal styling as well. You will have those hands on. I'm going to be doing a demonstration on tomorrow, but you will have that hands on where you'll already be doing it, because I'm going to come around to some of you all and making sure that you're performing the techniques of thermal curling. After we thermal curl, we're going to go in and do some teasing, some back combing, some rattling, some matting. And then also you have a brush, a teasing brush. See if that's next. Yes. Back brushing, which is called ruffling. Everybody say what? Ruffling. Ruffling. Anytime that you see also known as, is going to be considered ruffling. Everybody say ruffling. Ruffling. Great way. Take notes. Highly recommend that you take notes. That would be the best thing and the best decision that you made today, okay, is to take notes. Tomorrow we will be testing over this chapter. Just want you all to know, so make sure everybody present. Those that are not here, send out a text, y'all. Send out an email and be like, hey, you need to be in class tomorrow because we testing, okay? All right, so back brushing is another way on how we could create cushion as well. When we're looking at hair wrapping, everybody say hair wrapping. Hair wrapping. Hair wrapping is a technique that's used to keep curly hair smooth and straight while retaining a beautiful shape. It's to do what, you all? Use to keep. Go ahead, say it. Use to keep curly hair straight while retaining a beautiful shape. So if I'm saying hair wrapping, tell me where I can hair, what I can hair wrap with what and how hair wrapping goes.
You can wrap dry, you can wrap wet.
You can wrap dry and you can wrap wet. Somebody else.
You can wrap curls or you can wrap a flower.
Okay, you can wrap curls. What you mean by curls?
Like if you were to curls in your hair with hot curl.
Okay.
Or you can rubber set.
Okay.
Dry. You can wrap it afterwards, after you're done with the curls, wrap it.
And wrap it where? Or what am I wrapping? Or
around the head.
okay, wrapping around the head. So that is another technique. You can wrap around the head to keep the hair what? Smooth, right? So when they get a flat iron, that's maintenance. Maintenance is them being able to take care of that style. So when you have your client at the chair and you got your mannequin head out to the side, she got your mannequin all straight and pressed out, and you asking your client, do you know how to take care of your hair, or how do you maintain your hair at home? And she'd be like, well, I don't know how to maintain it. It never turns out the way that I expected. So do you know how to wrap your hair? And then she's going to be like, no, I don't know how to wrap my hair up. So now you're teaching her how to pulling that mannequin out, showing her how to wrap that hair around her head using whatever tools that's needed to secure that hair from keeping it from falling down so she can benefit, right? And then that builds loyalty, right? As a client, and y'all have a strong rapport with one another. And so anytime that she have any issues with her hair, who is she going to come to? She's going to come to you. She's not going to go to somebody else, because somebody is what? Their soft skills, communicating effectively. So this is when we're dealing with communicating effectively, pulling that mannequin out, showing her how to pin curl it, showing her how to put some rollers on her hair. Another way to keep the hair nice and smooth and wrapped and is putting it on some rollers. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes. I can take and keep that hair nice and smooth around the roller. Whether if it's flexi rods, whether if it's a pin curl, whether if it's a roller, I would encourage a Velcro roller, a hot roller. It's going to make that hair smooth and create into the form of whatever tool that you use. Okay? If it wraps around one time, it's going to create a what? A bump. Everybody say a bump.
A bump.
If it wraps around 1.5 turns, what is it going to create?
A wave.
And if it wraps around 2 or more times, it's going to create what?
A curl.
A curl. So therefore, we want to make sure that we keep that in mind. We keep that in mind. All right. So next thing.
Could you go back?
Okay, could you screenshot it? It's in your book. Bullet number 1, know that. Okay? All right. Let's look at the tools for blow drying. The tools that you have for blow drying is going to utilize a diffuser. Everybody said diffuser.
Diffuser.
This one is what I want you to specifically know about. Also your concentrator. We had a concentrator that we used out on the clinic floor for directional blow drying. When you take and put that concentrator on, it helps to force the air to move in one local area. Not if you just have it off and the air just going where? Anywhere. But when you put that concentrator on it, it's going to go to a specific place, that force of air. So keep that in mind. When we're dealing with the speed and the heat and control will determine when you're working with people that have fine texture hair, thin hair, whether they have blonde hair or pheomelanin, and then you have eumelanin. So you have to look in your book to find out what those words mean. Yes.
What was on the slide before this one? It went by real quick.
Yeah, your book, no real big ordeal with it. Okay, not for this lesson here. But you can, the guidelines are in your book. But you could go ahead on a screenshot, but it's right there in your book.
I didn't read what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just kind of going through the main points, okay? That's going to be strong content. The diffuser, everybody say diffuser.
Diffuser.
That is what you see that is attached to this here blow dryer, is a diffuser. what it does is when you have a person that have curly hair, or some our clients, they come in and they get a permanent wave, they get a curl. When they come in and get a perm and they have curly hair, and after you are done wetting or rinsing the hair out and you putting the product on, you're not sending them out the door with a wet head. You pull your diffuser out, and what it does is it sucks the moisture out of the hair without disturbing the curl pattern. So it keeps the texture in the hair, but it doesn't disturb the curl pattern. Big thing, you all. I could take y'all to a whole advanced course in just that alone, that we don't see on an everyday basis. And some of you all might be like, dang, you see a lot of young ladies that have these real big hair, like real big, and then they have these curls just like banging in it, and it just looks so good. It's a whole nother different lesson. I'll talk about that on another occasion.
Now that I know what that piece do, I'm mad I ain't get it in my kid. I know you did. We both.
Designs that when we're looking at combs play a significance in hairstyling. When we're looking at the combs, I want you to know what they're designed to do to keep the shape of the hair. Also, the closer the space helps to remove definition from the curl. So if you want to have to get rid of a lot of the definition of a curl, then you'll use the teeth that are closest together to comb through it. If you want to keep the definition of the curl, and a lot of times when we're feathering, when we're raking, and we're dealing with short hair, and you be asking a person, you got a rake? You got a three-sided comb? What else do they call them? I forgot what else they call them. Huh? A wide tooth comb. So when you're asking them for those combs, so it'll help to give it definition when you're combing that short hair and they got that bob, so it'll make them feathers look hot, spicy, tight. You know it's rocking, lit, hey, and she's gonna be all that and more. So you're understanding that if the teeth is going to create more of a roughness in the hair, if they're more wider apart, it's going to have more like a roughness in that area as well. Coarseness. When we're looking at brushes, we have a paddle brush. A paddle brush is a flat back brush. Is also good. You have vent brushes, that's ventilation design. They come in many different forms and shapes. Anything that have holes in it is always going to be considered to be a brush that is what? Ventilation, that's right. So when we're looking at other teasing brushes, we have styling brushes, we have those classical brushes, dimming brushes that we use for tension, and also anytime that you're using your paddle brush, a lot of times for medium to long length hair, okay? Medium to long length hair when you're using that paddle brush. Okay. Some of your styling products that you will use. Now, a lot of times we have the hair clips, but a lot of times when we're talking about some of the styling products, you all use foam wrap, you got wave lotion, you got gels, liquid gels or texture, you got straightening gels, you got also it'll continue when we talk about volumizers. You got pomade or waxes. A lot of times when we're dealing with very short hair, a pixie cut. And when you're dealing with pixie cut styles, you could really just take some wax or some pomade and go through it and sweep that hair and move it in any kind of way that you want and get maximum results with minimum effort and just finger comb that hair. Just take your fingers and go through it to help to stick some hair together. And you can rock, they can rock that style. Minimum results, maximum effort with minimum results. Did very little. I did a 27 piece over the weekend. When I did that 27 piece, it already got curls in it, right? Got a nice little bump in it. All I did just like, just laid the tracks. I got my specialty on how I lay tracks. But when I put that hair in, and all I did was move that hair, and she was satisfied. Put a little hairspray on it, moved it around with my fingers, and she had a little size. It had a little nice little wave, and it laid down over her neck, and she had some little long sideburns, and I pixied it and made the little curl flip flop all over. She thought she was the bomb walking up out of there.
And she should.
And she did. She was like, yes, this is what I wanted and more. And when we get clients that respond that way, how many of y'all know that make y'all feel good? That make y'all feel good? Yes. Especially for those that love to do hair. Then you got hair sprays, finishing sprays we've been working with. We got thermal protectors. When will we use thermal protectors, you all? Before we apply heat. Now, would that heat be also when you're considering hot rollers?
No.
Well, it's hot rollers, what they call them hot rollers for. Hot rollers got what to them?
Heat.
But what kind of heat do they have? It's electrical steam heat. Yes, steam heat.
So we probably really need it on steam heat, right?
Huh?
So we probably really need it on steam heat, right?
Yeah, you need it on steam heat. You're going to use it on your electrical tools and your regular tools.
So I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Does steam heat dry the hair out, or does it like actually put a little moisture to it?
It can actually add a little moisture, but you want to make sure that you go in, use that heat protector that will take it from drying out. It'll protect it. And we're talking about maybe about 15, 20 minutes. On yesterday, if you take a look at the video that's posted from yesterday, you will be able to go on in like a heat protectors when you are choosing them and you're going in the store. You want to make sure that, hey, you got a blow dryer to plug up. I just want to kind of test them. Some of the stores, they have the blow dryer already on where it can plug up as a sample, and you just go and spray some heat protector on your hand and put that heat there so you can see how long it takes before you start really feeling the heat hitting your hand. Your skin is a cuticle as well. Just like the outer layer of your hair is a cuticle, the outer layer of your skin is also a cuticle. So making sure that we understand thermal protector. When we're utilizing some of the activities, we're going to be practicing out on the clinic floor. This here is all demonstration lesson. So a lot of your education is hands on deck. That means that 90% of what you do makes you active. When you start saying it, 70% of what you do make you active. Anything below 70% is just going to be passive learning. So therefore, we are very kinesthetic learners, some of us. Some of us are learners, have an intelligence of hands-on. So you kinesthetic, or I got to visually see a thing, and then I could go do it. Then we're talking about some people that I am a problem solver. I love to solve problems. So that gets me to doing it as well. Some of you all are musically inclined, and I need music so I could thrive to it and do it. You know, I need that. Like some of you, when y'all study, y'all always put your earphones in, and you could do that. Like I have to be in an isolated room, like a snake water. But and just sit and study. Ain't no way, don't give me no music, don't give me nothing. I am an introverted person, believe me when I say that. I am like the philosopher, the one that is the teacher that just sits and let me just do my own studies here by myself without a straitjacket.
It wasn't what you said, it's how you said it.
Oh. Okay, so thermal irons. Thermal irons, you all, are a method of waving and curling straight hair press when it's dry only. Now, don't put no thermal irons to no wet hair. Guess what's getting ready to start happening? It's going to start cooking, right? It's going to start boiling, right? It's going to be sizzling, right? Yeah, many of y'all been to Applebee's and y'all got the sizzle. They just come your way. Yeah, that's how I like it. Just like I like it. But when we're looking at that thermal iron, the thermal iron has 4 parts. Everybody say 4 parts.
4 parts.
Okay, those 4 parts are the rod handle, the shell handle, the burr or the rod, and the shell. Okay, so who could come up with a rap on that one?
What is it?
A rap on the 4 parts of a thermal iron.
Let me get the 4 parts now.
Okay, you gonna come up with one? All right, she gonna come up with a rap. All right, the rod handle, you got the rod handle, the shell handle, the burr or the rod, and then you have the shell. And see, and it's called the 4 parts to thermal irons.
How long I got to make up the rap?
How soon can you get it to me?
Freestyle. Let me see.
You can, if you can freestyle it, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Well, yeah, but I had to put them in order real quick, so I'm gonna give her 5.
Okay, we gonna give you 5 minutes on it. We'll give you 5 on it. But I want to detour you from finishing up the information. If you want to wait, we could come up with it, and I want to hear it too. But with that being, you all will need to know that how many times do you see shell up here? How many times you see rod up there?
Yeah.
I only hear 2 people. Come on, y'all.
2.
How many times y'all see them both? What do you see? What do you see twice up here? No. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what that's like. Rod, handle, shell. Okay. So say that again with me.
Rod, handle, shell.
Again.
Rod, handle, shell.
Again.
Rod, handle, shell.
We helping you out back there, Regina, with the rap.
That's the intro right there.
That's the intro. That's what's up. Okay. So even when we're looking at our thermal irons, when we're testing our thermal irons, you have to make sure you test with light paper. Everybody say light paper.
Light paper.
Did I say litmus paper?
No.
So anybody know what litmus paper tests? Say that again. Everybody say pH.
Yes.
Litmus paper only tests pH. The reason why you're testing your thermal irons, whether if they are regular or electrical, is on light paper is because what? You want to see if it what? See if it burn, if it's too hot. How do you know if it's too hot? It's going to turn that white paper brown. So you know the reason why they said white paper, right? Because it's going to turn it brown, right? Okay, so you ain't going to use no brown paper to test no iron, right? Okay, you're not going to use no dark towel to test no iron, right? You're not going to use no towel to test the iron, right? You want to use a light paper. A light paper to test. So you can get accuracy. All right? All right, so when we're looking at the comb, again, when you're looking at the comb or your thermal irons, I'm still on thermal irons, right? Okay, so when you're cleaning your thermal irons, you want to use some some soapy solution that contains a few drops of ammonia to help to clean off your irons. Clean them off. And always follow manufacturer's instructions for the care of cleaning. A lot of times when you using regular irons, who know what regular irons are? When I mean regular, who know what that is? Marcel irons. Okay, so there are two forms of irons that we use. We use regular and we use what? Electric. Everybody say electric. So everybody say regular? Electric. Okay, so those will be the two irons that you would use. Even if it was a pressing comb, you would have a there you go. All right. So some of them things now are more battery operated. Like we got clippers that are battery operated. I've seen some curling irons that are battery operated. Blow dryers that are battery operated. So a lot of them are just, yeah, you said razor? Okay. Razor combs? The wet, they got like the wet ones and electrical. So then they got those too. So it's a lot of ways, you know, people are selling products, tools, implements that can be beneficial for your business. So it's pretty cool. But when we're looking at the teeth of the comb and the size, you always want finer teeth that are closest together, and also we want to make sure that we utilize hard rubber. Everybody say hard rubber. Hard rubber when we're utilizing our combs. The carbon combs, hard rubber, they don't melt as fast as some of the other plastic combs. So you want to make sure that you use a hard rubber comb and go through it, or not like the soft rubber ones. Sally's, they have them, and you use it one time with your flat iron, that's it. Maybe two, it just start curling up, you know, because of the heat. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Yes, but making sure that you are, when you're utilizing your combs, manipulating your thermal irons, practicing with those irons. If you do not know how to use Marcel irons, you always want to practice with them hot, right or wrong. Cold. You want to practice with them being what? Cold. Right. You don't want to practice using no iron and they hot and you don't know nothing about them, right? But you just got to practice on learning how to do what? Manipulate. Yeah, manipulate them irons. So you want to make sure that you practice with them being cold and not hot, neither warm. Okay? So you always want to practice cold first, and then we go in, and once you get accustomed to using them, then you'll put them on hot. Okay? When we're looking at temperatures, we talked about that. Fine, coarse hair, pre-lightened hair, tinted hair. You got to be careful, even too with people that are taking medications. What medications am I talking about? Blood pressure medication. You could see it turn another color if it got too much heat on it. I've worked with a lady and her hair is brown. Of course it's colored because she has gray hair in it, but she's on a medication. And if I put too much heat on it, it's going to turn burgundy, like real quick. I was like, oh, wow. You know, if some people have narcotics in their system, because it'll turn another color too, like a greenish kind of color. Yeah, like, yeah. I seen her turn pink. Oh, well, yellow is normal. Yeah, that's because it's too much heat. When you all great thing, give her a snap, you all. I'm finna skip over that. We have a lot of clients here at Elaine Stevens that have great hair. And because they have great hair, you got to be very cautious on how you apply heat to that hair. So we work with effective blow drying. If you utilize a thermal protector, blow, wrap dry, and leave that hair medium heat. Then making sure you add tension at that new growth area, stretching the elasticity in that hair. Then you're going through with your flat irons, tap, 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 silk. How much hair did I take though? 2 inches, that's for curl, but I mean for control, but paper thin, so that the heat could travel all the way through. It is not no big chunks or sections, so it could travel through effectively, using your comb to help to get rid of. So guess what you didn't do? Go over it, go over it, go over it. I seen some of y'all out here on the floor going over the floor. How many times it take? Let's reevaluate on what you just did. Because what you're doing is, just like with the blow dry, you were taking big section, chunks of section, and blow drying it and expect it to still go over the same piece over and over, but not opening that hair, taking subsections to blow dry. You just can't stay on top of the hair and expect it to get the hair that's in the middle section or the widest area of the head or below the section that you're working on. So you gotta divide that hair. You gotta make subsections in order to produce maximum results with minimum effort. When you're using that flat iron, you're not taking 2-inch subsections of hair, an inch. You don't want that because that heat is not gonna travel all the way through. Where it's gonna be missing at? Smack dead in the middle. So if you take very thin sections and go through that hair, bingo, do I have to go back through it again? No. I guarantee you won't. Okay? And so when we're looking at some of the other things that pertains to thermal curls and using our electrical irons, with straight hair, pressed hair, wig, and hair pieces, you can utilize your thermal irons on natural hair, not synthetic hair. Everybody say not synthetic hair.
Not synthetic hair.
Yes. Okay. Okay. A lot of people say that though. You know, where you going? Okay. Curling irons, manipulation. This here is when we're talking about curling irons and manipulation. Do you all see how that hair is going around? They kind of like in opposite form. We normally read left to right, but this time I want y'all to go from right to left. Okay, so what they're doing is establishing a base, silking through that hair. After you silk through it, putting that hair at the base to create a figure 6 or a figure 8 curl. Do you all see how the hair is going in between the shell and the barrel? It's not wrapping around it like a wand, like we love to do, but it goes and feeds all the way through. You see how she's holding that little bitty piece of hair up in the middle? That's how you know that it's getting ready to feed all the way in between the shell and the barrel. That's in between it, as a sandwich. Hair gotta go right in it so we can bite into it. Now, after they have established that, do you all see where she placed the comb to help to protect the scalp? Everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, so putting that comb at the scalp and rolling it, so it'll help to protect the scalp so you don't burn that scalp. Okay? So the first thing that they did was test the iron on what type of paper?
White.
Thin.
What is
Light paper.
On what?
Light paper.
Everybody say light paper.
Light
I don't want you to start confusing it with something else, adding to it. Don't add to it. Don't take away. Just what it is, okay? Light paper. Okay? And after you do the light paper, then you want to go in and perform your curl using the step-by-step. And then after that, you want to do what? Once you got that hair curled to the base, where you want to put your comb at? What you use your comb for?
The barrier.
So do what?
Protect
the scalp. Yes. All right, I got it. I got it. And so therefore, when we're using like some of the basic curls, when we're looking at spiral curls works absolutely wonderful for one length hair. Everybody say one length hair.
One length hair.
That means everything the same length. Bring it straight down. We see a lot of one length hair, spiral curl. Okay, so when we're looking at the curls, making sure on one length hair where we can get those spiral curls to be absolutely wonderful. All right, base volume. Which curl is creates full volume?
On base.
On base, yes, on base. What what creates medium volume?
Half base.
Half base. What creates less volume?
Off
base.
Okay, you got it. Okay, so when we're looking at some of the thermal curls, and the thermal curls when we're considering styling, brushing the hair, working up, you could create all different kind of styles, neck length, waves, which I also have a progress through the entire head as we continue to finish. Now, when we're utilizing safety, everybody say safety.
Safety.
Keep your irons nice and clean. Always get instructions before using your irons. Do not overheat the irons. Test your irons. Can you put your electrical irons and plug up your stove and heat your irons up?
No.
No. Great deal. Okay. Because what will happen is they will burn up. I have a lot of students that do that. I don't know why.
Ms. Shauna.
Yes.
All right, so, yesterday when we were flat iron,
Yes.
I know some of us may, I may stick my flat irons inside the stove's not on. But Ms. Key made a statement, and I didn't hardly hear what she said. She said don't sit in there because it can affect the irons and cause it to do what? Oh, okay. She's like, don't do that because it'll make it.
She said don't put them in the little,
In
the
the-
little circle thing, not the.
Oh,
in the
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah, you could like burn out. I thought you was talking about in
I
the
thought you-
stove.
yeah, I thought
That's
you
what I
was
was
stove.
about.
Yeah.
But you talking about the little.
That's the stove.
Yeah, that's the stove. You
No,
gotta
she said
turn
the
it
little
on
circle.
and off. She know how to talk about this. She talking about
No,
the stove.
she was pointing at me and she said you don't want to keep putting your irons in the stove.
In the oven part.
Right.
That's what I'm.
And maybe she was just saying that because of habit, because if one day you do decide to plug it up and they're in there and then it start burning your iron up that way, I don't know if that's what she was saying. Just don't get into the habit of doing that. I do it at the salon all the time. I put mine in the oven because I need it to be secure where it doesn't fall out. Now, a lot of times, yeah, like I don't like to put mine in that hole while it's hot because the heat rises onto the handle of your flat iron and can actually burn your hand, and then it may even cause it gets too hot and it get connected to the electrical part, and then you never know what may possibly happen. But always just to keep that heat, like laying it flat on the surface while it's on. But when it's off, then it's okay to sit it inside of the hole. That's what they were designed for. But I'm no big fan while they're hot, stick them in there. No, I lay them flat. That's a great question. It kind of get snaps. Yeah. Yeah. So therefore, handling carefully, test the temperature, and place hot irons in a safe place to cool. Okay. Some of the other safeties that we see: do not place the handles too close to the heat. That's another thing right there, especially when you're looking at thermal or your regular irons. Just don't do it. Proper balancing of the iron and heat. Now, I'm going to give y'all a aha. I want y'all to be able to take this with you. Old school. This is old school. When you're using your regular Marcel irons, they always, ladies that were back in the day, they always had a bottle of like coconut oil or something, it was called royal oil, and they dipped their irons in it.
Yeah.
The reason why they dip their irons in it, so it'll help to balance out the heat all the way through your iron. I thought that was an aha when I finally found out why did they do that. It,
To see how, to all shine her.
but yeah, it helped to do something with regulating the heat all the way through the hair. And they always took, even though it still hit that hair and it gave that hair shine, all of that at one time. And believe me, when we see curls today, they be gone tomorrow.
Yes.
But back in the day, them curls stayed around forever. And I said, what did they do? It's because they used wax. There were things that we don't use today. They put wax on that hair, the curling wax, any type of curling, it was a wax. It was like a pomade or a wax that they put on to help to keep that curl. Like I put some oil on my hair yesterday, and I curled my hair yesterday. My curl's still legit today, and no lie. They still legit. These curls gonna hang around for the rest of this week and part of next week. Guarantee you. And all I did was pin curl it and took them out and just took my fingers and went through it. So that, and then also, you consider like, some people, they don't want oil on their hair, but when they get in certain type of services, you could say, hey, well, this is what we're gonna do in order to keep your curls more long lasting. And if you want a long lasting curl and your hair is natural and then you don't want it to frizz up through the humidity, we're gonna have to put some oil on their hair. You know, so that's another way of doing that. Just something to think about. But I know we strayed away from that. And because people want their hair to move, you know, they want to be still. Okay. All right, let's wrap this on up. Make sure you keep your curlers clean. Avoid fish hooks in the hair. We even found out that on the clinic floor with flat irons on yesterday. Everybody's like, well, why is this crease in the hair? And you're like, aha, now you know how to stay away from them crease. We're going to also discover when it comes to that thermal iron, how to stay away from it. So anytime that you're utilizing your thermal straighteners, temporary straightens of hair, resistance, sometimes to the heat the combs, you want to make sure that you utilize the protection for the combs when you're heating up the hair with your thermal irons. Generally lasts until the shampoo, your next shampoo. When we're talking about preparing the hair for additional service, such as thermal curling and cogargonal thermal curls. Does anybody know what cogargonal thermal curls are?
Is it? Okay, I don't actually know what I'll get.
Okay, go ahead.
Like curls inside out, like backwards, like instead of going the right way, go the opposite way.
Is there a right way to curls?
Who?
Is there a right way to curls?
Baby, curls are everything now. I said, but I'm trying to figure out, like, you talking about the end going in towards the
Yeah.
inside, like where the handle is, and they are on the outside of the handle. Okay, so you're somewhat close. Like it's like a figure 8 curl or something. You really close to that. So yes, it's not like a figure six curl where it be on the outside, it winds just on the outside. You flip that hair, go in, and it's gonna end up coming directly in the center of that, of the middle of the curl. It's a technique that is used, and we're gonna practice it out on a clinic floor, okay? It's a lot of them, y'all. I'm telling you, there's no right or wrong way. 3 presses. I want y'all to write these down. Soft press, medium press, hard press. Double press is a hard press. Everybody say hard press.
Hard press.
Double press.
Double press.
That means that it's getting that hair 100% straight. Soft press, when you want to go in and do a retouch. Everybody say a retouch.
Retouch.
That means that the your person that perspires, they want to retouch. Like y'all, when y'all have y'all leave out and y'all just burn it up day by day, like. And you know what? Let me tell y'all something. That's how I know y'all don't be taking care of y'all hair. Like, look at they leave out, just like whatever. Let me tell y'all what y'all do. It be shorter than everything else on this whole entire head. Take it out. This whole little piece is just short. And I'll be sitting back like, hey. You have to, everybody say have to.
Have to.
Shampoo your hair before you go back and put some extra heat on it. You have to. It's just a little piece of hair. All you do is go in and just wet your little piece, throw a little shampoo on it, rinse it, clean that little piece on out, get your little blow dry. It's clean, right? Now I could go in and do what? Press it out because it's clean. You got residue from your hair products on your head. You got dirt, debris on your head, the environment, smoke, all kind of stuff on your head. And that's all you got to do is just go in and just shampoo the little piece of hair that you're leaving out. Okay? Who is that an aha moment for? A whole lot of us, if we want to be honest. Like, yeah. Yeah, but when we going in, we touching it up, though. You know, because some people...
I didn't have to put on my hair. My hair's been straight for a long time. Not wrap my hair.
She said soft press was a texture.
Yep, okay, so take and jot them down. Hard press is called what?
Double press.
Everybody say?
Double press.
Excellent. Okay, when you're preparing for hair pressing, you got to do a analysis. Everybody say analysis. That means that you're testing the wave, looking at the wave pattern of the hair. You got to know the length of the hair, the texture of the hair. What is texture, you all? Say it.
Whether it's coarse, medium, or fine.
Say that loud and proud.
Coarse, medium, or fine.
Yes, someone else.
Coarse, medium, or fine.
Somebody else.
Coarse, medium, or fine.
Somebody else.
Coarse, medium, or fine.
Okay, yes. So therefore, you got to feel of the hair. Okay, making sure you feel it. You want to check the elasticity. What does elasticity mean, you all?
The ability to stretch.
The ability to do what?
Stretch.
To what?
Stretch.
Yes. So also you want to know the color of the hair. Whether if they have artificial hair color or whether if it's their natural hair color. So that means if hair color being 2 words or if hair color being 1 word. Because it do make a difference when you see hair color that make it what? They're what? 2 words. Hair color being 2 words make it what? Natural hair color. If hair color was 1 word, that means what?
Artificial.
Artificial. Okay? You got to make sure you know that. You got to know that. You got to know the condition of the hair. Whether if they have trichorexic nodosa, you want to know if they got dry, brittle hair with knots all in it because it's going to break. So therefore, the condition of the scalp. Hey, well, do they have flexible scalp? If they have flexible scalp, you want to apply what to it? Y'all looking at me crazy. If they have a flexible scalp, I want to make what? How am I going to work that hair?
Tension.
With a lot of tension
Light.
or just enough tension? Enough tension. Wasn't that a question on yesterday? Yeah, it was. When we did our cards, yeah. So it is enough tension. Everybody say enough tension. That's how I know y'all be here and y'all mind on the other side of town. That's okay. We gonna get better. We gonna get better. Okay, but the condition of the scalp, is going to play a tremendous role. If a person has tight scalp, you can use your hairbrush to take and brush their hair. I highly recommend clients, especially if they got press outs, they could get their paddle brush. That is a take home, their survival kit. I make survival kits, you all, for clients. If that's their first time coming to me, they get a survival kit. It added into their service though. But they get a survival kit. That's a paddle brush. They get clips and they get scarf. Bingo, all three of those. And they have it in the bag, and that's what they use to take care of their hair with at home. So that survival kit, they can brush their hair 100 times a day. 50 times in the morning, 50 times at night. Wrap that hair up and go to bed. Helps to massage the scalp. That helps to release what? The tightness, the essential oils that comes from the sebaceous glands, the sebum that helps to lubricate their scalp because it's so tight. Massaging it, that helps to make it more flexible. Then it'll have and lubricate their hair to keep the minor threads. Everybody say minor threads. That's to beat it out of the way. Okay? Now, that's a lot of information, but they all broken up in your chapters. But guess what you have to do to be able to pull all of those pieces together and make it one? And that's what's going to help you to execute. So when you understand what every of these terms mean, and you utilizing those terms, and from those terms, now you're ready to start moving into a whole other different place with having somebody take care of their hair. We have the texture of the hair, and we talked about that. It's coarse, overly curly, medium, fine, and wiry hair that we deal with. We also have the normal, the tight, the flexible of the scalp condition. Also, when we're talking about some of the service that are noted, want to make sure that we do, and some of the conditioning treatments that we also can do for scalp massages, and also we do scalp exfoliations. How many of you all have done a scalp exfoliations? Only 2, 3. Raise your hand if you did it.
Could you describe what that actually is?
We use the anti-dandruff shampoo, and we take a toothbrush, we glaze it on the scalp of the hair, and we take the toothbrush and we do circular motions throughout the scalp area, and that's what we call exfoliating the scalp.
That's only with
I would highly just recommend it for your scalp only. Anti-dandruff. It will exfoliate. It helps to remove a lot of the dead skin and make your scalp, like if you had a scalp viewer, and that scalp viewer magnifies the scalp like 250 times. I have one. Mine is an indigo. And so I would not recommend you go buy one. Right. No. Okay. I don't want to deal with that company ever again. But with that indigo, I am able to see the scalp 250 times, and I could see if the follicle is covered with like filmy stuff, dry scalp, a waxy feel. It got like wax. It looked like wax build up. That's all around the follicle and on. Ooh, and in some cases, I was able to see circulation, like where no circulation was.
Yeah.
It looked more paler, and then in other areas of the head, it looked more alive. It just looks alive. And so, I hold your thoughts. I got you. I'm coming right after you. And when you go in and do like a scalp therapy, what it does is it helps to remove all of that gunk and stuff that's on the surface of the scalp that you can't see with the naked eye. And when you go and do that, now their scalp is breathing like, I'm telling you, it just look almost disgusting like, because it looks really alive, like it's glazed, and it looked like it got like almost like a heartbeat on the scalp. Not like that, but I don't know how to describe it. How many of y'all ever had like broke skin on your hand and it just looked like, and you could see like the little pussy stuff that started to come out
Like the
through?
white meat almost.
Yes, the white, your dermis, it's the dermis. If it look white, it's the dermis. And so therefore, it had like little pussy stuff that start coming out, and you could start seeing how it start healing and stuff like that. That's what it kind of put me in the mind of. I don't know, but I'm just trying to find a connective concept, connective. But it looks really good, okay? So, and because we can't see it with the naked eye, that's why I highly recommend the students to do it out here on the clinic floor, because we're learning how to shampoo, and these clients in here don't get their hair shampoo real good all the time. And so it's highly recommended. And the more that you all begin to do it on yourselves, you're gonna start feeling the difference. If y'all haven't got y'all hair done like that, exfoliation, I highly recommend that you get one. Let me start here and I'll make my way around. We're gonna wrap it up.
I forgot my question now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
When you exfoliating the scalp, you don't recommend like a cleanser? Like just if you want to cleanse your scalp, like something like that instead of the anti-dandruff?
You can use like a clarifying shampoo. It's there to help to cleanse. It'll cleanse the hair and the scalp. You won't have to go in and do all of that. But when you want that stimulation, that menthol feel, you know, it's almost like when you got muscle spasms and you really want to tingly.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't like tingly,
Yeah.
but sometimes tingly could be good. And
It make your head feel like really refreshed, but it just like a tingle, like the tingle. And then when the cold air hits your head, like
it's like, whoa, yeah. But believe me, that is some good stuff. Yeah, go ahead. But you can, yes. Yes. Let's listen up, you all. I'm gonna come around because she got a very soft voice and I can't hear.
When you're doing the scalp exfoliation, what kind of like toothbrush do you use, like soft, medium?
Oh, good question. Everybody go snap. Yeah. So you would get and use a soft toothbrush and take and exfoliate the scalp. Okay. Awesome question.
My other question is, would you wash the hair like normal, like right after with regular shampoo?
Yes, give her another snap. So yes, you will go in and use your moisturizing shampoo and conditioner. A lot of times people take that anti-dandruff shampoo and just go in and start shampooing the hair, but it's not for the hair. It's for the scalp. You know, so therefore why put it on the hair? You get what I'm saying?
when I did use it before, the it like dried my hair out completely.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was real brittle. Like it just didn't have a good, like it was real. Like I told her when I used
I remember
it.
you told me.
Yeah, and I was like, it just did not do.
That's why it's not for the hair. It's for your scalp. Glaze that stuff on the scalp is the most effective. I say most effective. You could do it while it's dry. Yes. Like right when they come in, if their hair ain't all hard as a rock, like a concrete, you know, yeah, or if they have like a Brillo pad, yeah. Yes,
Also,
and then I'm coming over here.
when you do it, do you add that to a service or you do that like as a separate service?
Okay, everybody do a snap. So let me tell you this. Let me tell you, her question is, can you do it as an add-in service or a separate service? You know, ticket. You can do it both ways, okay? A lot of times we seeing today on how people are creating their brochures, their packet. People bundling stuff together for a price. You can even, it's almost like PetSmart. If you have a pet, Petco, PetSmart, you take your dog to the Petco and you could get the best package. And in that best package, you get a shampoo and a haircut, and then you can add in some other things. This here, I want to add this, I want to add that, I want to add that, and it's only for that price. That's what I want to push us to. I try so hard to get that into people's mind, is to go into bundling stuff up. Like this, but you get all of this stuff, and you get options. You could choose this, you could choose that, you could choose this, you could choose that. I'm giving you options. So when you say, oh, when you sit in my chair, you're gonna pay $100. Guess what? They pay $100. But they get options to choose from. So that it depends on where you're working. Your location does matter. The type of people you servicing will matter. But sometimes you could break those bundles up and just be like, do it as a separate service. If they just say, hey, I just want to come in and give me a scalp exfoliation and get my hair blow dry and I'm gone and out the door. Yes, you could get that. Make sense? Okay.
How long? I gotta.
Let me come over here to this young lady and then I'm gonna come.
What time do we go on break?
Okay, at 10:30, 10:25, is it? Okay.
My stomach and my kneecap.
I just said that I gotta use the bathroom.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this young lady, then we gonna go.
If you're examining the scalp and you notice lice, how would you take care of that?
You won't.
If you have a client that has pediculosis capitis, then everybody say pediculosis capitis. If they have pediculosis capitis, it's up to you as a stylist to choose to service. That is a service in our salons today. They don't actually have to go to a physician to.
You think
They
about
can.
your
It's
kneecap.
up to you. It's up to you as a person with infestation. I've seen salons where they actually they not just, you know, they let them know what the issue was, and then that this is what we have to do from this point on. If they're not wanting to pay for the service in order to get that done, then they go somewhere else, you know, and they have to come back to the salon, wherever. But I've seen places they actually just go in and do it where it's more kind of for that type of service. It's more isolated.
Right.
Would you have to go in and, you know, disinfect and clean and wash? Yes, you would. Have to go and disinfect everything, but
Would you dispose of your tools like
no,
combs,
you don't
brushes?
have to dispose of your tools. You just have to disinfect them properly. And I'm gonna show you all how to disinfect properly.
So do they have like a physician, like the shops that do allow it, do they have like a person that specializes in stuff like that? Or like?
Like I said, there are some people that do that. Like, hear me. It's a service that can be done if you want to do the nasty work, okay? If you want it, it can be a service.
Can you refuse it as a
Yes,
stylist?
yes, you can
And you don't
refuse
face no legal?
No.
Okay.
No, you can't refuse it as a stylist. You do not have to say, you can just say, hey, this is the situation. And a lot of times we put a plastic cap on their head, and then just let them know that they have to leave out the salon. If you don't wanna service them, you don't have to service them. But that's when you always have that client to sit in your chair first. Don't never take them to that shampoo bowl. If y'all having clients that come in and they got this weave in their hair that look like it's been in for 4, 5, 6 months, and you know that you can't even see their scalp, I wouldn't dare touch their head. I'll tell them, you have to go home and take that out, and then you come back. So you get to choose. You get to choose. But anything that is contagious, then we send them to a physician.
Can your
But I've seen people that actually did the treatments of head lice.
Now, were you present when they did that, or did you watch it?
Mm-hmm.
You was present?
Yeah. Cause I
I
asked,
thought
what you
they
doing?
jumped, though.
I-
I thought they, like,
What you doing?
right.
Yeah, tell them what happened to you when you got like.
Can your manager make you perform that service? Like, if you feel uncomfortable and your manager's trying to say, hey, you have to, can you still be like, I don't wanna do it?
How can somebody force you to do something? But I believe that will probably be during your orientation, your interview, and different things like that, you know, so it's optional, you know, for persons. No, I'm not, no, mm-mm. No, it's,
What's the interview for?
as a salon. No, not just no regular salon. These, there are different salons that are out here. If you are working in salons, like, I call them shops, like you said, shops versus a salon. A luxury salon will be totally different from just a shop. Booth rental, independent contractors are totally different from somebody that's getting paid a wage or commission-based salons. Yes,
Okay, this is my last question.
okay.
What kind of, shampoo, specifically would you recommend for, scalp exfoliation?
Anti-dandruff shampoo, even if you take, like she was saying, clarifying shampoo, it will cleanse. You could do that. You could use any type of shampoo. I could take a moisturizing shampoo and cleanse the scalp. But it's just anything that has, like, when you exfoliate your face. You can use a cleanser that cleanses, but an exfoliation is gonna do what? It's gonna go a little deeper and help to get rid of all of the dry skin and that's on you. The debris on your skin, okay. So all of that is gonna get all of that out. Have y'all seen the what they doing, like the estheticians, and they go in and they scraping the skin? What is it called? What's it called?
It's some, dead skin,
So-
scalping or something.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, but they doing that now. Really helps us, supposed to cleanse the skin, make your skin look very refreshed. And, yeah, on your face. Yeah, yeah.
What is a chemical peel?
You know, so it's called dermal blading. Yeah, dermal blading, that's what it's called, dermal blading.
Cover up their face.
Dermal blading.
After a chemical peel.
Mm-hmm,
Like they say, the skin.
yeah. Oh, okay. Do anybody else have any questions? We're gonna wrap this on up. We've been here for maybe about an hour and 2 hours.